today with my 2021 planner. If you follow me on YouTube, you know that I have offered planner pages for the Elizabeth Craft Designs large planner. They are ruled or they are blank, but they are in my Etsy shop and they fit perfectly in these planners. They can work with your planner too, you just have to do some adjustments. So watch for that video, I'll link it below on how you can get your own printable planner pages. But today's video is more about the actual planner itself. It's a full tutorial, takes you through all the months of the year and all my little divider pages. So I'll give you a quick spin through just to show you, and then I will show you how to make it and what I use to make it, give you some tips along the way, some little tricks you can try. But it is basically a regular date book style planner. There is one photo per month, just sort of the highlight photo for the month. Maybe one momentous occasion you want to document. This is not like a scrapbook style planner. This is a date book style planner. So I'm just putting one spot for one photo per month. You can always add more yourself. The supplies that I used for this, I'm going to link below. And the paper that I used for this is Graphic 45's wonderful Woodland Friends paper collection and their Patterns and Solids pad. So here we go, let's make a planner. All right, we're gonna build our dashboard, we call it. This is the first page in the planner, and I'm going to use the Planner Essentials 30 Wave Pocket, which is this big die here for our first page. It's a page die, and I'm going to cut this pretty paper, Be Beautiful, from the Woodland Friends. I've already done that, and then also I want to cut from Planner Essentials 4. I'm going to use the big plain page die to cut out this from the Patterns and Solids. Also from the same sheet of Patterns and Solids, I'm going to cut this little piece here, which is from the Note Pieces, Planner Essentials 21. There it is right there. And then also I want to cut some hole reinforcers using this pretty flower. That's from the Reinforcement Variety Pack. I'm going to use the pink paper in the Patterns and Solids. It has this on one side and a solid pink on the other. I'm going to do that for the hole reinforcers and also for 2021 over here, which is the largest of the numbers in the Retro Number Trio, Planner Essentials number 27. So let me put that together. This is done for now for me. Of course, now we have these two pockets, which are great. You can use that same die, the Wave Pocket die. There are several tags in there. You could make some tags that would fit perfectly down into both of those pockets. For now, I don't know exactly what I'm going to use in this intro page, so I'm going to leave that empty and blank for now. And so the other side will be like this. Next, onto the B side of this pretty paper with all the little bunnies, which is a really pretty pink floral. I went ahead and I used those two tags now, and I taped them together onto the paper, one inset evenly inside the other. And this is the result that you'll get here, and this is sort of serving dual duty because we've cut a frame that we can use for a photo here. And then we can also use this somewhere else. We could flip it around if we wanted to, but I'm gonna save that for another page. And then I'm going to pop a cardstock insert in here. I'm gonna use this die cut, which is also from that same set, the Wave Pocket. These are the little, like the punched hole area of the tag that frames this part here. And so I've just cut the whole, you know, all three of them from the other side of this Patterns and Solids paper from the collection. And I'm gonna save all of them. I'm only gonna use one for now, but I'm also gonna save those middle parts. Even when I cut these two pink ones, I'm gonna save those middle parts, and I'll show you probably later where I will use those again. Nothing goes to waste, see? Cut off 4 3/4 off of this pretty page here from the Simply Enjoy It All phrase, and then off the back, the B side of this paper down here, I'm just cutting off about a 1/2 inch by the 4 3/4. I'm going to put that across the top of my page, add my little photo mat here, and then one sticker, and this is done. From this cute Be Curious paper, that's the B side of this one, I just cut away a little area so that I could die cut this background piece for Love This. This also comes from the Wave Pocket die set, so I want to put that right in that area there. And as you can see, I have put hole reinforcers here, both with green and with blue. I'm going to save these because this can be a nice little border on something, and I also saved some of the extras from the insides of both of those because I only need 3 of each color here. From that same pink paper I used before, I am using Planner Essentials 1, which has this large page die with the tab at the top. I've cut that out already. I've inked around the edges. These little calendars are going to get added on here. I have backed it to some more of the Patterns and Solids. These are in my Etsy shop along with the planner pages, which we'll talk about. I'm going to put that there, and then I have die cut January from the Planner Months set. I used some ivory cardstock and some of that same Patterns and Solids, and I'm going to put that right about there. And then stamp the word January here, and I'll show you that when I get it done. I'm going to use stamp set CS116. It's called Months for the Planner Essentials. It has all the months and a couple of other phrases and little extras there. So I have mounted January on here. The first thing I'm going to do though, before I stamp, is I'm going to take just a clean white eraser and kind of go over this. This is the first time I've used the stamp, so it has sort of a film on it, which will sometimes affect the way that you ink up and stamp. So we're going to remove that little bit of film on there, and then I'll stamp that with black right there. At the top, I've added some more hole reinforcements, alternating the colors, just like the other page. These 2 pages will face like this, and that's all I'm going to do over here. This side is very busy, so I'm going to leave it just like that. And then I will start into my planner pages, starting with January. All right, we left off with the January divider page, and I decided to go ahead and patch in a little piece on this tab on this side so I could stamp January again. You know how it is with the planner. Sometimes you have it stacked back this way and you want to go back a month or two. So I'm going to want to see my months on the back side. That's just an option. So now I'm going to flip ahead in my planner. Again, these pages are in my Etsy shop. It is a downloadable digital file, and they are sized to fit specifically the Elizabeth Crafts planner, the large planner. So here we are at the beginning of February, the end of January, which has 2 blank pages in my digital file. And I'm going to build right onto that page with just a solid piece of this particular pattern paper from the Woodland Friends. It's just gonna get glued right onto the back of that white page. And then on the right-hand page is this particular one, and this comes from, because this tab is a little bit lower than the one that we've used, Planner Essentials 3. So there it is there. All right, so those are my base pages coming up. I am going to adhere this one right to this as well, and it will hang off the edge like that. And I've already put a little piece of green on there so that I could stamp it and see it. All right, so to dress up these pages, first I'm going to start with this one, and I die cut this. This is the brown paper, has the pattern on the one side. I used the Planner's Essentials 11 set for this, and so that's going to go down the right side, lining up the holes. And then I'm going to do my photo frame, my once a month picture. I have die cut the photo frame 2 times. One side of the pink, one side of green from the paper collection. The photo frame comes from Planner Essentials 3, the same one that has the big tab die that I just told you about. So I cut it out twice, and here's why. I want to, it cuts out this, just like this, so you have this piece here, and I want my frame to be pink, but I want the inside to be green, so that it looks like that. Now, the reason why I saved the pieces, of course, is so I can use these later somewhere. So I'm going to put those aside and just do this one. But instead of having the word photo be just like that, where you can't really read it very well, I cut out a little piece of ivory cardstock I'm going to stick behind there. All right, all done. So that's how it looks. I added a sticker that I have backed with a little ivory cardstock, and then the pink pattern paper, like a little pennant banner there. And so that is really it. And like I said, it's glued to the back of the last week of January in the planner. So that will go in there. And then I'm going to decorate this page. And this is my first week of February. So it's backed right to it. So what I'm going to use is, I've already done a little bit of work, and I cut out this large half heart. And I also die cut at the same time the word February from the month set. The heart comes from the Planner Essentials 20 half heart page set. I use the smaller one, and you can see it has the holes there, and they do line up with the planner. So I'm just going to adhere this down. It's not going to be a flap or anything. You could leave it as a flap if you like. A couple of other things, when I cut out February, I'm going to save that, you know, maybe another project or something. But you see inside the R and the A and these open spaces, the paper popped out. And if you don't put them back in, this is how February looks. It's a little hard to figure out that says February. So I don't know if you can see them over here, these little tiny bits. I'm actually going to glue those back into place in just a second. So anyway, that will go there. And then I've got my little February calendar, which I've backed to some of that brown pattern paper. That'll probably go down here, kind of overlapping the heart a little bit. And then I went ahead and die cut, can you see them? Little heart shaped hole reinforcers out of 2 different pattern papers here. And I already have the double-sided adhesive on there when I ran it through the machine to make that a lot easier. Those hearts are from the planner label set, which I will use a lot throughout this project. So that's always a good staple set to have. You can see how much better and easier you can read the word February here now with those pieces put back inside. So my page is complete. I couldn't resist it. I had to do a few of these cute little light bulbs. They're also from the half heart page set where this came from, and they just look super cute and pink and brown on there. So that page is done, and the other side of it is the first week of February. And now we move on to March. Again, just like February, March is going to start in my planner pages on 2 blank pages, the end of February and the beginning of March, which works out great. So I have already pre-cut this cute little, this is the B side of this pretty squirrel paper, using that same page die that I've been using with no tabs. And then the same paper, I am using this tab, which is from Planner Essentials 2. And that one is just, you know, we've been stair-stepping our way down, so that one is the next one in line. So this time I think I'm going to change up how I'm going to stamp this busy area here. And instead I've used this fold over tab die cut from Planner Essentials 11. We've already used that set when we used this part here to make sort of an adornment on the whole side of one of the pages prior. So we've used this before, and there's that little die right there. It's a little fold over tab. So I went ahead and stamped it and I got that ready. I got a couple of other things ready as well. Simple borders, top and bottom for my pages, and then a photo mat, double photo mat on green with a green background. And then just like before, I've got my little calendar on green this time, and then I've already die cut March. And I've used the planner labels die to cut out that shape that it's on. Okay, last thing I did was I went to, again, the Planner Essentials 11, and I used the whole die for the reinforcements. And you can see this is what the die shape looks like. So the holes are all different sizes, which is kind of fun, you know. So I cut them out, some green and blue, and the other side of the green, which is going to be a light color. So I'm just going to kind of mix and match those little circle reinforcements over here onto the pages. So let me do that and I'll be right back. All right, these pages are done. I have added a large sticker here, and I think I'm just gonna put one of these leftover pieces on the top of here, but this is how my pages look. Of course, that's the end of February, that's the beginning of March, so that worked out nicely. This sticker is the top of the sticker that came from back here on the back of the dashboard page. If you remember back here, I cut off the top to that sticker there. So I didn't want it to go to waste. I've been saving it, so I'm just going to kind of put it right there at the top center, and that just kind of dresses up that photo mat a little bit. So that's March, and now we're on to April. All right, for my April pages, I have decided on using the signature page from Woodland Friends, which is, of course, this pretty one here, and it has the plaid on the back. And I'm going to use that same simple page die for my left-hand page to go on the blank side of April here. And I just wanted to show you how, you know, with a little bit of pre-planning, you can actually make sure that the position of some of these great images work out for you. So I've pre-cut the paper down a little bit bigger than the die. I know that I want to have the deer up here in the corner like that, and my photo mat will be down here. So that's just something to kind of keep in mind. And the other thing is, so we used this tab die. This was from Planner Essentials 2. For March, but so when you want to do April, you're just going to have to flip it this way, and that makes it the next step down in the tabs as they cascade down. So what you have to keep in mind is if you want it to be here and you want to use this side of the paper, then you just have to make sure that you cut it from the back side like that. And I'll show you when I'm done. Okay, those pages are ready. I have mounted them to the pages that are in the planner. And that's how we're looking so far. And so I've been preparing a few things here, and one is I have cut a tag with a little reinforcer in the hole. This is from the Planner Essentials 2 die that we've been using. That's going to be my little photo mat down here somewhere. And just for a little journaling accent, I made this little tag. This was also cut from a die set we've been using, the Planner Label Set, and it's these two here. So there is a little heart that goes with that one. I'm just going to have to pop that in there when I get it on the page, when I decide where it's going to go. So I'll do that in a minute. And then we've got our little calendar ready here. I've got April. This time I've cut out sort of a ticket and a half from this particular die, which is from the Planner Essentials 11 that we've been using. It's also the one that has this fold over tab for April. So I have April on there, and I just kind of cut part of it off just for interest. It's going to go about there, and then my little calendar will go there. And then I have all these little hole reinforcers that I'm going to add. I cut them out in blue and in the pink check. So let me do that, and I'll be right back. And here are the finished April pages. Those hole reinforcers are great because they go right to the edge of the page like that, and they can face each other. It looks really nice. So I think you're starting to see a basic pattern here, and I'm going to continue on and keep showing you more pages. Before I talk about my May pages, you may have noticed that I misspoke on the die set that this one came from. This is actually Planner Essentials 3. I'll try to remember to correct that in the video when I'm editing, because I found out when I was doing May, that was from Planner Essentials 2, which I mistakenly said the other one was from. So as you can see, it is that same die we used this way earlier, and again, we're going to flip it to do this. And I've already got my pages done this time because I think you're getting the hang of what I'm doing here. So I'll just point out a few things that I've done and what dies that I've used. Again, the plain page die from that set that we have been using over and over, which is Planner Essentials 4. So cut that out. And this is that same, remember earlier when I cut this out of the other tag? This was like way at the beginning, and I said I'm going to save that and use it later. So here it is. That's my photo mat and the little accent there. I have added a sticker border and another sticker here of this cute little fox because the facing page has all these foxes on it, which is really cute. This date die cut is from the Planner Essentials 2 we've been using, so that'll be nice to put just a little something there under the photo when I choose it. The whole reinforcers that I use, they're from the reinforcement set number 2, which has a whole bunch of varieties to it, just like the first set does. Can you see it's like a little doily kind of flowery shape with little teeny tiny dots around it? So I cut them in brown and the green, and use green on the left page and brown on the right page. And so there's those cute little foxes. See that? And of course this is mounted to the page in the planner. May this time has been mounted onto like this little pennant banner, for lack of a better word, from Planner Essentials 3. And then I cut it out a little bit larger and matted it with pink on the outside. And then of course our calendar and our little May tab, and May is finished. Alrighty, and on to the June pages. Again, we're working on the back at the end of May, the back of the planner page, and a simple, same solid page cut out. Use the little starbursty kind of reinforcements this time with the pink pattern paper from the reinforcement set, variety set 1. For my photo mat this time, I didn't use a Planner Essentials die. You certainly could, or you could just cut it out, but I did use the 1698 stitched indented squares set. I mean, they're just so nice, and they have the little stitches or little dots and stuff. So I did a double mat for that with the pink and the green, little border strip of paper, and then a sticker, and this side is done. And then for my right hand page, again, this is that die from Planner Essentials 1 that we used initially for January this way, right? So we had to cut it out on the other side of the paper this way. And of course I mounted it to the very beginning of June here in my planner. I did this same little strip from, this is Planner Essentials 11. I think by the time I'm done with this video, I'll have all these memorized. We'll see. This is from the planner labels, and of course the month and the calendar. So I keep doing the little tab thing. I think I'm going to go back over the January and February and do the same because I want them all to look the same. But I'm liking how that looks, and my June pages are done. And now I'm moving on to July. Okay, and my July pages are looking like this. Again, with the same plain page die on the back of the end of June. And this time, instead of a physical photo mat, I use this piece here, which actually has the holes punched in it. 4 of the 6 holes are on this one. This comes from the set we've been using, Planner Essentials 11, and it's this piece here. You can put that in there separately and loose so that you can flip it back and forth and have both sides, but I went ahead and adhered it to the page this time. And I put some sticker borders across there and then finished off with whole reinforcers in the pink and the green from the Reinforcement Variety Pack 1. Same ones over here. This page is like a quilt pattern, which is great. It's got the tab top this time, which if you remember, we just used it for June with a tab down here, and now we're going to start over just like January, and we're going to use it up here. So there is July stamped and ready. We've got our little background to the month here, and that comes from the Note Pieces set that we've been using. Layered on that little topper, and we have our calendar, and then it's adhered to the first July page. So that, and here are my August pages. Again, it's becoming just a pattern as you see, the large page die cut and adhere to the back of July for this one. This particular photo mat is die cut from 21 note pieces that we've used before. It's this piece here, looks like a little notebook page. And so you can see I've done it out of the pink, but then I also mounted that to an ivory cardstock and kind of freehand cut around that just to kind of set it off of that green background a little bit. And then again, this little piece is from the Planner Essentials 11. That makes that cool little edge on there. And if you can see, I've used the flower shaped hole reinforcers like I did earlier, and that was from the Reinforcement Variety Pack number 1. And then page 2 over here is, once again, we're using one of the large page dies with a tab. This is from Planner Essentials 2. And these cute, look at these leaves. I love these leaf hole reinforcements. That's from the Reinforcement Pack 2, number 2. And then this little background thing behind August is from the Note Pieces die as well. It's this little, I think it's normally supposed to go like this. Looks like a little torn notebook page, but I have turned it this way and put it on there really crooked, as you can see here, but that's okay because it's my planner, not yours. But that's it, and August is done, and I'm on to September. September pages are done. Same deal, full page die cut, and then this time on the right-hand page of the first divider for September, I've used Planner Essentials 3, the big page die with the tab at the almost center. And then for the photo mat on this side, also from Planner Essentials 3, is that same photo frame I used earlier. For the record is also from this set. So this is the first time that I've incorporated a color that's not in the actual paper collection. I pulled in a little bit of a red-orange colored cardstock for some of these accent pieces in the hole reinforcers and behind here, just because I love the red here in the mushrooms, and I thought that needed just a little bit of that on the facing page. So we have sticker down here. Again, so it doesn't get lost on the background, I mounted the sticker onto ivory cardstock and then cut around that. And then a strip of just pattern paper and a little more of that red cardstock behind there to break that up a little bit. So there's the left-hand page. Our hole reinforcers here are craft, and they're just plain circles, and plain circles on the right in that reddish-orange cardstock. We have our calendar, and of course this piece back here is again from the Note Pieces die set, and it's just cut from that same red-orange cardstock. For my October page, I'm going to do it a little bit differently. I still have this wonderful Be Carefree sheet, and it's got all these cut-aparts on it. I've cut one already using borders in the background and everything, but this time I want to isolate a specific area for my left-hand page, so I'm using that full page die cut page die from Planner Essentials 3, and I've got a little bit of removable tape on my fingers here, and I'm just getting it positioned exactly where I want it to cut, and I'm going to tape it pretty securely because I want to pick this up and cut the paper, because obviously this will not fit into my die cut machine. So I'm just going to put that in my paper trimmer over here, and I'm going to slice that right down here. All right, once again, I misspoke. This is Planner Essentials 4, the full page die that we've been using over and over. Hopefully, without me telling you, you're figuring these things out. I keep putting my dies down on the wrong magnet sheets. But I want to share a quick tip with you on something like in this situation. It's a small detail, but it's something that I would take the extra few minutes to do because it will just look so much nicer. So I knew that I was cutting off the top like that, and to me that looks a little incomplete. Even when I ink the edges, I don't think I'm going to like how this border frame just kind of stops across the top. So I cut away that little extra border with the words that I was telling you about, and then you have this piece left, and of course that scrap there. And as you can see, this is the continuation of that border. So you can always go in and just cut that and patch it right over the top of this, and it'll look like one continuous border. So let me take a minute to cut that out and I'll show you what I mean. Okay, we'll zoom way in here. So I have cut this away, and you can see I followed the little wavy lines of the leaves here, and I've cut it off the top of that. And you'll notice on the left and the right edge, I cut, instead of just cutting it straight off and there being a hard line, I cut it on a little bit of a diagonal. Something about that, when you go to glue this back in place, makes it seem a little less obvious that you've done this little patch job. If you cut it straight across, it might look a little bit less natural. So I'm going to take a second to get that really straight and glue that back on there. Okay, so that's how it looks finished off the top, pretty seamless. And I have started on my right hand page as well. So the plan here is to cover up this area from my photo mat this time. So I've just cut some extra of the blue patterns and solids. I'm going to patch that right in there, and I'm not going to put anything else on this page. And so the right hand side, this is a large sticker. It's actually like a two-part sticker. There's a sticker within there. So I stuck the whole thing down after inking the edges. I did my little calendar. I've got my little fold over tab. But just to keep in the same theme as all the other pages, I am going to add October right over the top. I have mounted it to some green patterns and solids on the solid side, and it's going to fit right in there perfectly. So these are just about done. The whole reinforcements that I chose were these, and they are from the reinforcement pack number 2. And I have cut them out of the blue check as well as the pink, and have added them to each of my pages. If you notice, I used that little bit of scrap that I said before, this nice border I was going to save. I put it to the top and the bottom of my October divider, and October is done, and we're on to November. Okay, we are on November. We're getting close now. These are my pages. A simple page like we've been doing on the left-hand side for the end of October. And this time I have used Planner Essentials 7, which has this tag and has these little holes along the edge. Again, you can put that in there and let it flap on both sides, but I have glued it right down and then put my hole reinforcers right over the top. Just a simple strip of paper that matches the facing page on this left side. A sticker, and I couldn't resist. I knew I was going to do it sooner or later. These great little fussy cuts on the signature page in the Woodland Friends collection. I had to fussy cut out this little owl and a pretty flower. So the left page is done, and then the right page is following suit like we've been doing. This tab is from Planner Essentials 2, and we have used this before. This is that ticket, kind of double ticket border from Planner Essentials 11. And we've got our monthly calendar, and our hole reinforcers are just simple circles in blue. And that page is done. And we have one more to go for our December spread. Okay, my December pages are finished. As we've been doing, the solid page die on the back of the last week of November in the planner pages. Couldn't resist a little more fussy cut, the word family, and just a basic double photo mat here, and a little border strip here, you can see that I kind of fussy cut the tail on the little fox as we went along. Some cute little reinforcers here. The word family and some things over here on this other page comes from the Planner Essentials 15 Bookmark 2 set. There are those little Christmas tree hole reinforcers. The word family is there. So I've used those over here. There's the Christmas tree hole reinforcers. These little Christmas trees, though, they come from Planner Essentials 16, the Christmas tree page. So there's a couple different little Christmas trees there. The page itself, of course, was cut once again with the die that has the tab down here. It's Planner Essentials 1, and normally it would be up here, and of course we cut it so it's at the bottom. And what else? That's it for this page. So here's my planner. I'm going to pop up pictures of all the spreads at the end, just still photos, so that you can freeze frame if you want a visual to follow as you go along. And definitely feel free. You have stickers left in the sticker sheet from the collection. I had a lot of papers left, a lot of fun things to still play with, and you can dress up your pages even more if you want, or even within your planner itself, the date book part of it, you can put stickers or whatever you want, do some stamping. But you can see with just those dividers, this is pretty darn full. So it's perfect. Any more pages, any more thickness, and it might be a little difficult to close. So I'm happy with this just the way that it is. I'm going to put a few things in these pockets in the front, and I've already started using my planner. Of course, there's all my little to-do lists and things for the last 2 weeks. So I hope you enjoyed the project very much. Let me know if you have any questions about anything, and I will put all the links necessary below on all the products that I used, where you can get graphic 45 paper, and anything else that I feel like you might need to know. All right, everybody, thank you so much for following along in this tutorial, and look for those photos at the end. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.